So we're going to be upgrading the axles on the DT200 today because we feel like it's a little bit narrow. If you spin the drift track around, it has a tendency to tip like you see on screen. So to compensate for this, we're doing a 40-inch axle upgrade, and it has a 32-inch axle stock. It also has these tiny 4.5-inch wide tires. And when you compare it to the 6-inch wide tires we're going with, it's almost double, really. I mean, it's ridiculous because these are stretch tires. So we're going to use DWT aluminum black wheels from Go Power Sports. And also to do this upgrade, we're going to keep the pillow block housings, but we're going to upgrade them with 1-inch bearings from Go Power Sports because everything on the drift track is metric. So we're also going to need a sprocket or drum brake hub from Go Power Sports. We're going to need 2 of these because we can use the sprocket and the brake disc that's on the drift track. We just have to drill out the hose a little bit. You'll see when we get to that part. We're going to need a few collars and a few axle keys, but other than that, this is a really quick upgrade and it's going to give you a lot better stance on this drift track. So let's get to taking it apart and see the difference. We're going to need a 15mm wrench, a 17mm socket, and a small extension, as well as a ratchet to get those pillow blocks off the frame. We're going to need a 12mm wrench and a 10mm socket and ratchet to take off the engine, as well as the brake disc and sprocket. We're also going to use a 10mm ratchet and a longer extension to get the wheels off the hubs. So it's been a while since we rode those drift tracks, but it got cold on us. Yeah, we rode them 2 times. I rode them once or twice. Lonnie rode it once, and they was a blasty blast. That's for sure.
I'm ready to get them back out with longer axles.
Yes, so and more power.
More power.
Powerhouse. So we're going to pull this axle off. This is all metric stuff. Like the hubs are splined hubs, so we're going to get rid of this whole entire axle. The only thing we're keeping is the brake rotor and the sprocket because it seems to be geared perfect from the way Coleman has done it. So I messed up on, I don't know if it was this one or the other one, but I forgot to put oil in it. The thing came in the mail and it sat for a while, and I could have swore I put oil in it. Didn't. Lonnie was riding it. She locked up.
Yeah. It's in the video.
Insert clip here.
It wouldn't go anywhere. Like, I'd be at full throttle and just be like,
it wouldn't revving out?
That's not good.
So that was a clip of us locking it up. So we got a new motor we'll show here in a few minutes for one of these drift tracks. And the other one is sitting right over there. We've already taken the governor out, put 18-pound springs.
Modified it.
Yeah, pulse pump, all that jazz. So let's get to taking this out. You can take the wheels off, and I'm going to get this axle off. I actually already had this axle off, so I put standard nuts and bolts back in it instead of the metric ones because I believe the reason why I did that was one of the lock nuts was like messed up from the factory. So
got it.
Now you're in my way.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the least fun.
That one's tight. You torque these on spec?
Yeah, tight, foot-pounds. So I've got the axle pillow blocks unbolted, but we need to remove these 8mm that hold these fenders on. So I'm gonna go grab that. We probably won't be putting these fenders back on. Probably not. Pretty cool little fenders though.
Well, they'll be useless when you put a longer axle and stuff, won't they?
Well, I could adapt them. You know, I could either weld something, kick out here and bolt them too, but probably not. Bam. These are splined hubs, so we'll have to leave these hubs on this axle. Maybe use it for a future project. Through the seat.
2 for 2.
So there we go. Little pillow blocks. Like I said, this whole entire axle is metric. Everything is. But we are going to keep the sprocket and the rotor. So we need to get all that jazz off. Come on, baby.
What kind of tools are you buying around here? Good.
Oh, the tip came out. Way bigger than that. I'm going to say 19.
Probably.
A lot of... Here, try.
Bigger.
So, like 1 step bigger.
Try like a 22. Bigger. Oh gosh.
Oh,
My bad.
it's way up under there.
I can get it.
Too
big.
Wait. All right, we're gonna switch them at the same time. Go. Use a little short.
That was exactly where I wanted to be.
Is that it?
Yep.
Cool. Probably didn't even need a socket. If you just hand-threaded that off. So off camera, I hammered off the pillow block bearing, and I actually ordered new pillow block bearings, but the ones I went and looked at in the local Royal King was a P205, the housing, and then you inserted 1-inch bearings in it. So Lonnie grabbed me the wrong bearings, but that's not his fault. I'm going to try to use Go Power Sports 1-inch axle bearings and see if they'll pop back in this housing. You can see when we was knocking it off, it kind of kicked the bearing out a little bit. We're going to knock this bearing out of this housing and try one of those axle bearings, because that'll save me like $25. Okay, so there's the rotor. All we're using is the actual disc itself. We're not using this hub, of course, because this is a metric hub. Come on, baby. There we go. So we just need to pull these nuts and bolts off now. And since this is also a metric pattern, I need to check and see how the Go Power Sports hub is going to work on this. This is one of Go Power Sports 1-inch hubs, and it has a bunch of different patterns on it, so hopefully this is going to work for us. Look at that, it's just a hair bit off. Oh yeah, should work great. Come on, baby. Work it. Yeah, so they all work now. Got one short one somehow.
Because that came off this hub.
Oh, that one had short ones on it?
Yeah.
So I'll just use some washers on this side to help out with that gap around it, and should be perfect. Go up one more size on each of them. It should work great. Nailed it. There we go. Lines right up. That is perfect. Next is trying to get that bearing out of that pillow block assembly, and then trying the Go Power Sports axle bearings out. Watch it not be right, and I canceled my order. I ordered 4 pillow blocks like 5 minutes ago, thinking because these was a metric inside diameter that it would be a different, you know, it'd be a metric outside diameter as well. But It says P205. I don't know.
Unless at Rural King, the ones that we picked up and said P205 was in the wrong spot. You know.
So I put those flanges back on there and that. And I'll put the bearing back on here because we'll keep this for who knows what later on. So now the adventure of getting this bearing out. So we're going to swap out these metric bearings with some standard ones. So we're going to put the axle in this pillow block and just tilt it. And this is how you pop out the bearing. Super simple. So let's put our new bearing in. Now we have these grease holes. That's where grease is forced inside the bearing. So we're going to want to aim those up so that the grease fitting can penetrate it. And there we go. It's as simple as that.
Quite easy.
Yes. We're good. This was a happy find because I have a ton of these bearings. So we're going to grab a 40-inch axle, I believe. Let's see the size difference. Where's our axle at? On Treasy.
On the wall back there.
Where?
Oh, just kidding.
This?
You had it well ago. Yeah. Yeah. So quite a bit of width, and plus our tires are 2 inches wider as well. Think it'll be too much?
No such thing.
Nope, never. Okay, so now we'll slide our bearing on. We don't have keys in anything right now. Just looking. So that means you can use your factory bolts and everything if you're upgrading a DT200. It's a good find. Let's separate the pads. And of course we'll be using collars on each side of our thing. So yeah, should work out great. We just got to make sure our bearings are straight because them being able to rotate, it looks like we're going to have to peck on them a little bit with a hammer. But other than that, throw some collars on and some keys in these and we can slide our hubs on. And then we have an upgraded DT200 axle. That thing's going to be so wide. I know it isn't centered, but it's going to be pretty awesome. It'll be a huge upgrade.
So,
yeah, before, so it gave us a 2-inch wider tire as well as, but remember before the tire was almost touching the frame. Like it was just maybe a finger width.
Yeah, I still don't think that's centered. We'll see.
No.
That's pretty close.
Let's measure it, curious. Well, we can't measure it until the bearings are locked down. So now we can get the bearings eyeballed centered. We can put some collars on there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 10 collars. 10. These pillow blocks are allowed to move forward and back. The way Coleman cuts the chain is, I'm pretty sure it has to be all the way forward, because when I first put these bearings on a long time ago, like when I pulled everything apart to find out what parts we would need to upgrade the axle, I think I slid it all the way back, and it's too much for a full length. You need a half length to do it like that, so I'm hoping this is correct. So now we'll measure out the axle, get it centered, and we can put our keys, at least in the brake. We can't for this until we put the engine on. 8 1/4 from the, well, it's 8 1/4 to here, so it needs to come this way. 1/2 inch. There's a mallet up there. It's moving. Keep on.
Well,
hit it hard.
Remember, you gotta hit it. You gotta make it in the middle.
Yeah,
it's taking
I have to.
What's happening?
It's going to be 7 1/2. Keep going. 1 more 1/4 of an inch. A little bit more. Whoa.
So 2 pops.
Yeah. That's 7 5/8. 7 5/8. That's it.
our measuring system, 1 pop or 2 pops.
Always works.
Ah!
Stink bug.
That's that season again. They're
Yep.
about to be in every crevice in this garage. Okay, now we can lock our bearings down to keep our axle from sliding side to side. I'll tell you one thing. I do not ever want to take that key out. So now we're going to put these axle hubs on. We'll slide our key out. I'm going to let this overhang just a little bit. Alrighty, there we go. Put our washer on, and our axle nut. Now, since my wheel hub is where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this collar on the back side of it to keep it from pushing in any when I tighten up the axle nut. Now we can finally see the stance that we're going to have. And it looks a lot better than it did before. So that added probably, we can actually measure on the old drift track, see how much width we added to this. So if you remember, I did the video of the pulse pump as well as the catch can on this engine. So we're going to slap it back on. We've removed the governors, put 18-pound valve springs in it, and then put the throttle plate on it. So it is ready to install now. And Coleman actually puts really good needle bearing clutches on these drift tracks, so you shouldn't really ever have to worry about swapping out the clutch for a very long time. Those needle bearing clutches are known to last. It's kind of tight putting the bolts in the engines on these things, but it isn't like extremely hard or nothing, but it's not fun, that's for sure. Now the sprocket's going to be really close to the brake rotor, just like it is in its factory configuration, so we should be completely fine though once we get this engine all lined up. We can throw our chain on, tension our chain up, and then tighten down the engine. Now remember, the thing is with this drift trike, if you use the original chain, you have to have the axle all the way in its furthest forward position. So we got the one axle upgraded, and we pushed the old Coleman DT200 against the new one. You can see the width. I mean, it looks a ton better with those wider tires. You can see right there how much poke we got. What do you say? It's about
4 inches on each side, so 8 inches total you're gaining in width.
Yeah, so it's going to be a definite upgrade for sure. I mean, it's going to make it a ton more stable spinning around, because it isn't like it wants to flip like crazy, but it's definitely, this wider setup is definitely going to make it a ton smoother.
Oh yeah, and it looks way better.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, the fenders, I guess, are cool just to keep rocks and stuff from slinging at you, but looks so much better without them.
And by the way, you won't be able to use the stock fenders just because of how much wider it is. They stop about where
midways.
Yeah,
midways on the tire. Yeah, that's an awesome upgrade though. Now we got to do this drift trike, and we got a new engine going on this one. So stay tuned to the next video to find out what motor we're going with. So the drift trike's all ready. We got the axle installed, the motor back on it. So now we need to order some drift sleeves, and they're pretty expensive. It's like $140 for 2 sets of sleeves. You can't use those stock sleeves on these new tires because you need to go up a step bigger. So my advice is to burn off the factory sleeves before doing this upgrade, or you're wasting a set of sleeves. So we're going to put the Tillotson engine from Go Power Sports on the other frame. That'll be in the next episode. We'll be getting it ready, and then we'll probably ride them without the sleeves. People's been wanting to see how rideable they are without drift sleeves on them. And we'll do top speed runs, and we'll test that Tillotson engine, which is 10 horsepower out of the box, against this factory Coleman engine that we've did the 18-pound valve springs, removed the governor, and then the Go Power Sports Stage 1 kit. So it'll be a good comparison to see how much power you know, the Tilson makes being bone stock, governed at, you know, 3,800 RPMs against a engine that'll rev to like $6,000. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to be in Texas. I think the meetup is on the 27th at 2 p.m. at the Go Power Sports tent at the Pates Swap Meet at Texas Motor Speedway. So come hang out with us. Rather be Weldon will be there, Cars and Cameras. So you can come hang out. I think we're going to be building a mini bike and maybe even raffling it off at the end of the day. We're not positive yet on how everything will go, but we will be there. So be there or be square. Also, enter to win that mini bike giveaway. It's still going to the end of April. So someone could win an awesome setup. You could have an awesome mini bike. You know, you'll get all the parts. You can watch my videos to know how to install the parts. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the Drift Track Tuesday where we install the Tilson engine and ride them without sleeves. Y'all have a good day and God bless. Redbeard's Garage is powered by GoPowersports.com. Go Power Sports has a huge amount of awesome go-kart and mini bike parts, and when making your purchase, use the Redbeard discount code in the upper right-hand corner of your shopping cart to grab yourself a sweet deal. Hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on so you'll never miss another episode, and go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest to stay up to date with the channel. Guys, always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.